Happy Labor Day weekend. We're here. You made it. Congratulations. I hope you're enjoying yourself. If you're watching this, it's either because you're just being lazy and kicking back or you're taking a break from the festivities, whatever those are. Thanks for joining us. As always, we're eternally grateful. On today's show, Krysten Peek. I respect her brain, her mind as much as anyone when it comes to basketball, simply because she knows her shit. Sorry to be crass there, but she's brilliant at basketball analysis. And her entire job is evaluating talent coming up through the ranks, determining whether or not they're going to be NBA players. And she joins us next to talk about the Warriors. There hasn't been a lot going on this offseason, clearly. We've exhausted that ad nauseum. But they did make 2 draft picks. And I haven't had a chance to really hear decent analysis about that. And we're just going to catch up. Let's have a good time with Krysten Peek. She joins us next. This is the Golden Day.
They always find something to nitpick, and that's because there's expectations for us to win. Leave me alone this summer.
Woo! Let's go.
In a minute, I'ma need a sentimental man or woman to pump me up.
Welcome to the Golden Days. Krysten Peek's going to join us in just a second. But first and foremost, let's give some love to the sponsors, the folks sustaining this operation, paying the bills. We can't thank them enough. And side note, again, inventory is going to be locked up soon, meaning we're not going to have space in the very near future to bring on more clients. So in the meantime, if you're interested in partnering up with us, especially a long-term partnership, that's the ultimate goal here, reach us. Our email address is warriors24pod@gmail.com. Again, warriors24pod@gmail.com, so we can hopefully give you the kind of love that we give to our sponsors, including an awesome cover band. And look, if you're asking yourself, what do I need a cover band for? Why do I want to pay someone to play live music for me? Well, it might be a wedding, right? That glorious moment when a romantic union is forged eternally and legally. Maybe it's an anniversary. Maybe it's a birthday. Maybe you just want to throw yourself a good old-fashioned backyard rager. Whatever the reasoning. We might even need to shift over to a corporate setting. Let's say you're throwing yourself a fundraiser. Let's say you're throwing yourself an event to boost morale for your company, for your employees. Think of the Catalina wine mixer. Think of Prestige Worldwide and what they had to do to get those helicopter sales. For Brennan. Is that the brother's name? No, Brennan's the main character in that movie. The brother, whatever his name. Whatever he needed to bust his nut in terms of chopper sales. Let Decades be that band for you. Eddie DeBartolo, the former Niners owner, hired them for his private compound in Montana to play some live music. Folks, Decades, they're NorCal natives. They're originally from Chico. They play all the 49er Red Zone rallies. These are parties. Pre-game festivities next door to Levi Stadium before every Niners game. They could be playing your event. They're awesome people, side note. They're rock stars, literally. They're playing everything from the 50s to today, from Chuck Berry to Katy Perry. Whatever your cup of tea, they'll pour it. They'll take care of you. All you have to do, if you want to book this awesome band, a side note, mention the program, you'll get a discount, is email Kyle@atomicmusicgroup.com. Again, Kyle@atomicmusicgroup.com. It just occurred to me, by the way, that my mic might not be plugged. Do I sound better now? I hope I do. Anyways, check them out. And if you don't want to email Kyle@atomicmusicgroup.com, just go to decadesofficial.com. Again, decadesofficial.com. Follow them on Facebook, on Instagram, @decadesofficial. Again, they're quality people. They're good people. They're incredible Bay Area sports fans. They're incredible musicians, and they could be playing your event. Go check them out and thank me later. Decades. Today's episode also brought to you by FanDuel, the official sports book of Golden Days and the entire Believe network. You see their branding right there with every show we do now. And I want to check the last show we did. I was on the FanDuel Sportsbook, and I wanted to see if the Valkyries Saturday night game, they've been off all week, is now available. The line was not there yesterday, and I'm recording. Oh, it is! We're recording this late Friday night, August 29th. You're probably watching this on Saturday, August 30th, or a little later. But the Valkyries are favored at home over the Washington Mystics, a pivotal game for the Valks playoff pursuits. The line -5.5. The OU 149.5. You can win money on the Valkyries by just going to the FanDuel Sportsbook. Go check it out. And hopefully the Warriors will someday fulfill their roster so we can start providing some actual analysis pertaining to the Golden State Warriors. But FanDuel, we're stoked to have them as a sponsor. And I'm also stoked to bring on Krysten Peek. Let's see how she's doing. Oh, every time we bring Krysten Peek on the program, I feel like she's writing for someone new. She's doing something different. She's traveling all over the world. You live a rock star lifestyle in the NBA, covering kids half the time. Krysten Peek joins us. I call you Krysten repeatedly. One of, if not the brightest minds in basketball. You're phenomenal at what you do, and you deserve your flowers, at least for me and hopefully from a lot of other people. Krysten, people can follow you on social media at your name, Krysten Peek. You're writing for Hoops HQ. You're doing broadcasts with the NBA, and you're, again, a rock star. How you doing? Great to see you.
I'm good. It's busy. I'm just about to take a little vacation before I hit the 26 NBA draft cycle. So I'm excited. I'm so excited for this draft cycle. It's one of my favorite classes. There's so much talent. So I'm ready. I'm ready to take a break, but then I'm also ready to get back into things.
Absolutely. I feel you on that. When the Warriors season ended, I mentally, I'd never felt so exhausted professionally, because the Warriors are not an easy team to cover, as I'm sure you know. So much drama behind the scenes, and the two timeline thing has added a myriad of complications in regards to managing talent, lineups. You're on one hand, you have mega stars like Steph Curry. On the other hand, you have up and coming potential stars like Jonathan Kuminga. And then you have a head coach who's trying to balance it. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's chaos. And the whole reason why I bring all that up is because whenever the Warriors season ended, when they lost to the T-Wolves, I literally just slept, I think, for like a month. I was so burned out covering this team. So I get it if you're anywhere near that level of mental exhaustion. Krysten, I want to start here. You brought up the I don't know if you brought this up on the air. We were talking for a moment before we started recording. But I reposted on social media an interview, or at least a question you asked of Steph Curry at his basketball camp, which was held about 2 weeks ago. I posted that on Threads. Side note, thanks for the engagement that clip brought me. A lot of people enjoyed it. But this has been part of your summer itinerary, is traveling, visiting these basketball camps. You mentioned me off the air that you went to Steph's camp. You went to Jason Tatum's camp. I forgot the third one you went to. I'm sure there's even more. Let's start with Steph.
Lillard, yes.
And let's start with the Steph Curry camp. Like, what's your approach to that? Like, are you strictly going there with a business-minded approach, meaning like you're just scouting? Are you also networking? And what's the vibe there? Just explain to the audience what that experience is all about.
Let me tell you something. So this year's camp, this is the first time I've been back to Steph's camp in about 7 or 8 years. Just hasn't lined up. But so I went back, and the camp was held near Atherton, a very nice area of town.
It's affluent.
And,
yep.
and so like I was driving, and with the gym where it was like a rec center, right? A very, very nice rec center. And as I'm pulling into the parking lot, which there's security, obviously you have to like show that you are supposed to be there. But as I'm pulling up into this, there was a soccer field, a playground, and like another basketball court, outdoor basketball court. And there were just kids playing, like all over the place. And in my mind, I'm like, oh my gosh, they don't even know that probably some of them probably look at Steph Curry as their hero. Like, they don't even know that their hero, like the guy for the Warriors is about 50 feet away in this gym, like playing with some of the best high school boys and girls basketball players. AZ Fudd was there as well, helping out with the girls side. So I love going to these camps just because these players, and especially Steph and AZ, they really, really plug in, and their mentality is, and Steph said in the question that I asked him, like, I had these experiences, these core memories when I was a kid, and I was going to Kobe Bryant's camp, to whoever else. Obviously, I had my dad, but
And
that
LeBron,
was a core,
right?
and
Isn't that
LeBron,
infamous?
and
Yeah.
and it's like, and obviously these players, because I listed off a ton of players: Anthony Edwards, Jalen Green, Chet Holmgren, the Thompson twins, Michael Porter Jr. Like, I listed all them off, but he's like, by no means are they in the NBA because of us, but I hope that we were just a small step, a small piece of them, getting to the league. And he did mention, that it is fun for him now to go head to head with some of these guys after seeing them at his camp. And it's like a full circle moment for him. It said it makes him feel like an unk, like an old guy, right? When he sees these guys on the other side of the court. But he's now been doing this for 9 years. It's been incredible. And the list of talent, especially on the girls' side this year, was unbelievable. I mean, Ivana Wilson-Minyaka, she's the number 2 player in the 27 class. She was the MVP on the girls' side. On the other side, Deron Rippey Jr., he's one of the best point guards rising up the ranks on the senior class. So to be able to see them in sort of this situation with Steph Curry, I mean, they just soaked everything up like a sponge. And, I love seeing that.
Of course, it's one of the. I feel like if you have any humanity inside you, that kind of visual and experience just it melts your heart a little bit. If you've got some empathy within you, that stuff melts you. And you had a chance to actually interview Steph. I don't know how available he was for the media. Like, do people grill him in those settings, or are they really lighthearted questions? Like, is anyone coming in going, so what's up with Jonathan Kuminga? What's the setting like in terms of the media aspect?
It was a scrum. I mean, there weren't a lot of people there. What was interesting is that there were some international media there from Brazil and China. Remember, he was going to China about 3 days later.
Yes.
So, and AZ went with him. I was talking to her. She's like, yeah, I'm going to China with Steph. I was like, oh my gosh. Because you have to, like, I covered AZ in high school. So to see her and her progression, she went from, the number 1 player in high school. She tore her ACL twice. She was Gatorade Player of the Year. Obviously, she went to Steph Curry's camp, signed on with first Under Armour, and now under the Steph Curry brand. And so she's kind of like the girl side of Steph Curry. So to see her not only go and work out and be with these young women at the camp, but then go to China was like, I love that for her. But I mean, the questions in that scrum, it was only about 10 minutes, ranged anywhere from when did you know that you were great to are you going to bring these camps to Brazil, to somebody did ask about off-season moves, noting that the Warriors are the only team to not make an off-season move out of the 30 teams. So, and he was like, really? Like he was surprised at that question and just realizing that, the Warriors haven't made any moves this off-season. So no, but it was good. I think we all understood the assignment. No one's there to grill him about whatever.
Right. Yeah. Do you think, was he genuine in feigning surprise there, or do you think he just said that to not?
No, it was genuine surprise. Like, he was just like, are you serious? Like, he looked at, it was a beat writer that asked it. I forget his name, but it was very genuine and just like, oh, we're the only team that hasn't made a move. Like, it was very genuine, but I made sure I kept it kosher.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
that is, what's funny? That does reveal a lot, I think, because the fan base, one of the many questions they have is how involved is Steph and Draymond and these veterans when it comes to these important decisions about younger players like Jonathan Kuminga and others. And, some people think there's no way the team's making any decisions without checking with Steph first and running it through him. And everything I've ever heard is that Steph is such a professional that he stays in his lane. Like, he understands other people have a job and their job is personnel. His job is being the best basketball player imaginable and being the best leader for his team, right? And, so it's little things like that I think do reveal a lot in terms of Steph's mindset regarding the team itself and how involved he is. And that leads, I think it's a great transition to this current scenario. It's a nightmare. And side note, by the way, that the show's open. I don't think you saw that when I played it. We've been playing this all summer. There's a clip in there of Steph going, "Leave me alone this summer." That was his mindset the moment the season ended. He was like, just leave me alone, because that was the type of year the Warriors had. And for Steph, it ended so frustratingly with that hamstring injury, because this was a Warriors team that, if Steph was healthy, I don't think there was a limit to what they could have achieved. Like, a championship was attainable. And I know that's an opinion and people can push back. But again, they won the season series with OKC 2-1. The one loss was by 4 points. Steph didn't even play in that game. The OKC would have been a team the Warriors would have had a shot with. And so Steph was heartbroken at the end of the year with that hamstring injury. And Kaminga lights it up in that T-Wolves series, and it creates this scenario we're in now. And look, I'm asking you this strictly from one basketball fan to another, because you're not going to have any concrete answers. No one does. But in your opinion, with this Jonathan Kuminga situation, the Warriors haven't done a thing because they're waiting on this standoff to resolve itself. What's your take on it? Just what are your thoughts on it? Because I've never seen the Warriors have an offseason like this ever. I don't know if there's a comp to this. Your thoughts, Krysten, because it's madness to me.
I will say this before I give my answer. I don't have a horse in this race. I have not been privy or paying very close attention to what the chatter around the front office is on what they want to do. I understand there is a standoff. I understand both sides. Mm-hmm. Like, nobody wants to be the Clippers when they release Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and then he goes to the OKC and they become NBA champions. And what I know about JK, you have to remember, Kaminga was the number one player in high school before he decided to reclass. Then he reclassed and he joined the G League Ignite, right? But what he was in high school, he was the best player in all of high school basketball. What he did this summer before he reclassed with the New York Rens with RJ Davis was some of the best AAU basketball I've ever seen. He was so dominant, and he knew it. And he knows it. He knows what his potential is. And to see him pigeonholed and just kind of like he's not being released to his full potential.
My sentiments exactly, Krysten. Yeah, I agree.
Okay. And I know both sides have reasons for the standoff or whatever, but free JK. Come on. Let him go. Please. Let him go. Let him as a pure basketball fan, I want to see him flourish, and he's not flourishing. It's very clear. He's not flourishing under the Warriors system. And again, I might be very wrong. I don't know both sides, but I want to see the JK that I saw in high school, where he was playing without any limitations, where he was playing in a system where he felt freedom and support.
Yeah.
And that's the JK I want to see.
We're 100% on the same page. And a lot of my opinion is based largely on me reading your evaluations of Kaminga going years back. And you're not the only one. I mean, there's a mock draft way back when that had him going number 1. I know he fell to 7, and ultimately I think top 5 was the more realistic prognostication before he fell to 7. Why do you, in your opinion, by the way, because no one has a concrete answer on this, and maybe there is no real answer, but why do you think he fell to 7? Because the Warriors did not plan on drafting him. You know this as well as anyone. Josh Giddey was on their radar, and it took the Warriors a little aback that OKC drafted Giddey, and it surprised them that Kaminga fell to 7. In Bob Myers' mind, he was thinking, I think it was a very black and white decision. Best talent available. We got to take him. But it hasn't worked clearly with Kerr, because Kerr is very peculiar with his system, and his mentality seems to be, I just want Steph to thrive and everything else will fall in place from that. And beyond that, who knows what Kerr's reasoning is for the minutes and whatnot. But in your opinion, why did Kaminga fall to 7, you think? Because that was weird to me.
I don't think he fell. I mean, you got to remember the draft that he was in, and he also reclassed up. And so looking at the draft where he was, like, I thought his range was anywhere from 4 to 10. So that
Interesting. Okay.
7 range was very, just like you said, it was best prospect available. And so I wasn't surprised that he was sitting
Okay.
right there. And what was so telling and what was so interesting to me is I ran into JK and his people, his brother at Peach Jam, and he was there supporting the New York Rens, his team from previously. And he was wearing like blue and yellow. So I don't know if he had a promise by then, but it was
Interesting.
very, I mean, and you can read into that whatever you want.
Right. But
Like I wasn't as shocked on draft night when he went 7. I'll say that.
fascinating. And look, and I'll say, and Krysten, you could disagree with me if you want. And this has been such a polarizing topic with the fan base here. To me, Kerr's just overcomplicating what is a simple game, what should be far simpler than it is. And what I mean by that is, you take a look at the Warriors last season. All you had to do, and I know, again, people can criticize me for this opinion. All you had to do was just give all of Gary Payton II's minutes to Kaminga, and everything's solved. Like it would have been that simple. And maybe I'm being too simple in my diagnosis of the Warriors this last season.
Steve Kerr is a Hall of Fame coach for a reason. He obviously has his reason. I'm not here to like second guess that, but when I look at Jalen Green and his situation in Houston, and now he has a new situation going to the Phoenix Suns, I think this is a brand new beginning for Jalen. I think he's going to flourish that. I feel like JK needs a new situation.
Well, just freedom. Like you said, I'm with you 100%. I just want to see his potential. He's 18th, Krysten, and you probably know this. I don't know, but he's 18th in his draft class in minutes per game. That's where I see an issue. He's not the 18th best player in his draft class. So for him to be 18th in minutes, like you said, free JK. I do think sometimes we overcomplicate something that should be very simple. And in Kaminga's case, just free the man. I'm with you. I just let the guy play. And so the Warriors did draft. I had another question I was going to ask you. Maybe I'll come back to it if I remember. The Warriors did draft 2 second-round players. They originally had 1 second-round pick. They traded down. They get I keep calling him Will Reddy. I don't know why that name's in my head. It's Will Richard. And then they also got Alex Toohey, a player from Australia. I know very little about either of these 2 players. I don't even know if they're going to be on the roster when the season starts. They might. Who knows? What do you know about these 2 kids? Because we haven't really provided much analysis on them because not many people know much about them. I haven't had a chance to scour the Australian basketball media circuit to see if someone there has covered Toohey extensively. But what do you know about these 2 kids? The Warriors get some gems. Your thoughts?
I love Alex Toohey. I actually went to Australia about 2 years ago, back when I was going to see AJ Johnson and also Alex Sarr. And Alex Toohey, he was originally committed to Gonzaga. Then he decided to play in the NBL. So he played 2 years for the Sydney Kings. And the first year you saw him, he has great positional size. And, he just needed that second year to kind of hone in on his skill set, become more of a versatile player in terms of like his foot quickness wasn't that great that first year. Like he was getting beat a lot, his physicality, and playing in the NBL, you really have a chance to work on that because you're playing against former players that have either been drafted in the NBA or had some time in the NBA, definitely some college players that log some meaningful minutes. And so you're feeling that bump and that speed and that pace of that NBA game. And so for Alex to then play 2 years in the NBL and then be a second round pick, I mean, he was great in the NBA draft combine. I mean, I thought he was kind of like a spark in that. So for the Warriors to zone in on him and really see his potential as like a 3 or a stretch 4, I think they got a gem. Do I think he's going to make the roster this first year? Probably not. I think he'll be more of that 2-way player, maybe see some minutes off injuries. But in terms of Alex and his attitude and the way that I've seen him progress his game in the last 3 years, he's still growing as a player. He wants to get better. He has that great, attitude that I'm sure Steve Kerr and the front office love. And he comes from a military family. His mom is one of like the highest ranking military people in the Australian military. I think she was like one of the first, I don't want to misquote or misdirect, but Anyways, she was one of the first female sergeants, I think, in the Australian military, like crazy. And so very disciplined individual, comes from a great family. Every time I talk to him, he's just fantastic. And like I said, he's got the right attitude to come in and just be whoever the Warriors want him to be.
The situation with him, not him as an individual, but the situation where he got drafted, how the Warriors see him, it reminds me a lot of Guy Santos. And that leads to Guy, right? Currently, who last year I thought was spectacular, considering the expectations were practically nothing. He played some big minutes. I don't know if you agree with me on that or not. Maybe you don't. But Guy Santos, I think, might have a role this year with the Warriors. I don't know how much you covered him as he was coming up in Brazil.
I did not.
So there you go. Maybe we'll leave, but that's at least how I see it as a potential. Is maybe he'll develop a little bit, because Guy Santos spent time with Santa Cruz and then was going back and forth a lot, learned a lot on the bench while getting minutes down in Santa Cruz, and then now he's a part of the rotation, and it's awesome to see. And maybe Toohey will get there. Sorry, no, did you want to add anything? I don't want to.
No.
Okay.
No.
Going back to the Kaminga thing for a second. I'm so sorry if that's a subject you're not a fan of. I don't blame you if it's not. But I've said this before, Krysten, and I pride myself on being consistent. I try to be, and I'm staying consistent with this take. If I ever had real power when it comes to the NBA, and a team said, "You're in charge. What are you going to do? You're my first pick for GM," right? Like, goes without saying. And I've said this before. You're brilliant. You know what you're talking about. You have an eye for talent, which in the NBA, that's a skill that is so useful, and you have it. Let me know what you think about this conversation with Kaminga, if you're Mike Dunleavy Jr. and or Joe Lacob, and let me know if this is the best way for this to play out. If you're Mike Dunleavy Jr. and you're having a conversation with Kaminga, this is, I think, how it should go. A, the money has to be better. 2 years, $45 million. He's not going to sign that. I do think Kaminga has some power here, has some leverage in terms of stretching this thing out, because at a certain point, the Warriors are going to have to fill that roster out, and Kaminga can wait them out on that. I don't know if people are aware. He can. As long as he's financially stable enough to do so, he can wait this out and force the Warriors' hand. With all that said, Mike Dunleavy Jr. is sitting down with Kaminga, and this is the conversation. A, we'll give you the money you want that at least makes you happy. Let's say it's 3 years, $80 million, right? And we take out all these team options, and we give them some guaranteed money. So we're giving you that. But I think this is the part that would make Kaminga happy. JK, this is your team, maybe in a year, 2 at most. Kerr's not here forever. Steph's looking at 40 years of age. He might retire in a year or 2. This is your team in the very near future. Just be patient, ride with this, play your role, take the money that we're offering you that'll make you happy. Is JK would that placate JK, you think, if a message like that was conveyed, or no?
I don't think so. I don't.
Is it a patience thing? Do you think Kaminga's just hit his limit? He wants out?
I feel like at the stage where JK is, and seeing the success of his peers and what they're having in the NBA and the minutes that they're getting, JK feels he should be probably getting the same amount. And so for an organization to continually say, be patient, wait your turn, you'll get your minutes, just be patient. You can only be patient for so long. So I don't think there's any coming back from this.
I hear you. I hear you on that.
Maybe that's a bad take. I don't know.
No. Look, the only takes I ever want is authentic, honest takes. And so thank you. That's all I'm ever looking for. This is not a clickbait show. This is not a spinster show. I just want some genuine transparency and honesty here. And you give that, and I respect that tremendously.
Let me be clear. This isn't like I'm not some JK insider, right? Like, I obviously covered him in high school. I see him maybe once a year.
Right.
And it's just a simple, oh, hey, how are you? How's your family? How's your brother? Right. This isn't the KP insider of like,
yeah, don't aggregate Krysten for this.
He's talking to JK on a weekly basis. He wants to be moved now. No, this is just being in the business for 10 plus years and seeing how what has happened. And like, I can understand JK's frustration in the sense where it's like, No, why, of course he wants to be moved. Free
Yeah.
him. Let him go. Let him go.
What are your thoughts on the fact that Kaminga is not the only one? There's 4 restricted free agents. All 4 are still unsigned, to the best of my knowledge. If I missed something, forgive me. But Cam Thomas is out there, and this kid
Yes.
was putting up 25 points a game. I mean, last I checked, points.
He wants Jalen Green money. Yes.
And then you have Josh Giddey. Quentin Grimes. Like, that's a tough one too.
I
like,
love Q.
So, like, this is a mess. Like, the only finger I'm pointing with all this is at the agents for not being cognizant enough to be aware that this situation was laid out for them. This was not some big secret that in the year 2025, the offseason, the salary cap was going to screw over some players. Like, how do you not have the foresight? And this is where I give Clutch a lot of credit, because they took care of Brandon Ingram right before. Like, he would not get anywhere near that money if he was an unrestricted free agent this offseason. So kudos to Clutch. And if you don't mind just giving an opinion on this, like your thoughts on 4 restricted free agents, 4 players who can play just sitting there.
The game has changed. It's now the power is in the players, I think, more so than ever. We're seeing that not only at the NBA level, but you look at like how NIL has changed the landscape, how, the transfer portal has changed it, and it's giving more power to the players and to the agents. And so for them to kind of like play this game of chicken of like, no, we're not signing this. Come meet us here or let us go. Like I'm not surprised that there's 4 or more players that are dealing with this right now. So
it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And DubNation is losing their minds over this again because of a completely inactive offseason. It's insane. And your words regarding these 2 rookies are encouraging. Krysten, what do you have going on? Last time you were on the show, and again, these annual visits brighten my mood so much. Thank you. You're a joy. Hoops HQ. You were not writing for them a year ago. I'm a little familiar with them. Enlighten the audience, please. What's your content pertain? What does Hoops HQ provide for a basketball audience and a general audience? Promote away, please.
So I was with my previous employer until the end of October, and then they decided to go a different direction. So fine.
Happens, yeah.
So then I immediately, thank you. I immediately started calling games for NBA TV on the high school side. So that's
sometimes, sorry to interrupt, but sometimes with my good friend Kevin Dana, right? I mean, aren't you?
Yes.
He's one of my dear friends. I love Kevin, and I love when you 2 collab. Sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
It's so great. And so called EYBL Scholastic, Hoopall Classic, EYBL Peach Jam, some international games. With Kevin Dana, because he is the French guru. He knows how to say all their names. I'm like,
he's a pro.
Nolan Traore. Like, oh, like I only know the names of the players that I need to care about.
Right.
So did a pre-draft show with NBA TV, but writing for Hoops HQ, it's a college-based website. I'm doing a lot of writing on the recruiting side. And then also like exclusives, like I did an exclusive with Cooper Flagg, with Trey Johnson, VJ Edgecombe during the season, just traveling around and doing what I do. And then, this upcoming season, it'll be AJ DeBonsa, who's the projected #1 player, Darren Peterson, Cameron Boozer, Michael Brown, who I have already sat down with, at USA Basketball U19s, and Nate Ament. So those are the top 5 of this new draft cycle that will be hitting it. I don't know where the Warriors will be, but this is the draft. The 26th draft is monster draft.
And that's good news for the Warriors because they did not have a draft pick this last year. They sacrificed that as part of the Jimmy Butler trade. Who knows where in the mix they're going to be in 2026. I keep reading about the Kings being really interested in Jonathan Kuminga. And my reaction, and I'm guessing Joe Lacob's reaction to that is, prove it. Right? Throw a 2026 unprotected pick if you really want him. I'm pretty sure they'd make a deal if that was introduced.
It is crazy to me. You see teams, they're holding on to this year's draft picks. Nobody wants to, especially a first round. They do not want to give it up. So you're going to see the same cast of characters. The NBA doesn't like when I say tanking. So position themselves in a favorable spot to try to land a high draft pick. I know. Not the 1.8% chance that the Mavs got and landed Cooper Flagg. I mean, we're going to see Utah Jazz, Washington Wizards, Brooklyn Nets, Charlotte Hornets all make decisions this year to try to land in a favorable spot of that 14% chance to land either AJ DeBonsa, Darren Peterson, Cameron Boozer.
Incredible. And I can't let you go without bringing up your amazing dog. This is a
Gary.
very dog-friendly program. I'm working, Krysten, I don't know if you like this idea or not. It's taking longer than I thought. It's a project. I'm going to expand my set in a three-dimensional manner where somewhere around here, my English bulldog, Bubba, is going to be a permanent part of the show. He's going to be like a part of the set, basically. He's just going to be hanging out. And we're going to see if that works out. I don't know if it'll be a distraction or not, because he's just going to be sitting. He doesn't do much. He's right here just, enjoying his life.
Perfect.
I forgot your dog's name. Is it Henry? No.
Gary.
Thank you. Sorry about that. Gary's a rock star. I know a lot of folks in the NBA are on a first name basis with Gary. You brought Gary to Jason Tatum's camp. Is that correct?
I did. Yeah. And CP3's camp. Yeah. They had a combined camp. So it was Jason Tatum and CP3. They were both there. And JT and his people, they asked about Gary, and JT's like, bring the damn dog. So Gary showed up the next day, and he was like the official greeter. And like Paolo Banchero came in, and he's like, oh, G-man. Like he knew who Gary was. And so then he's on my social media. He came to the U19 trials in Colorado Springs and like wanders into the training room, and Koa Pete, Tyron Stokes. These are all players that are top high school players. Koa Pete, Tyron Stokes, Jordan Smith Jr. We're all like, Gary. And Tommy Lloyd, the head coach of Arizona, who was the head coach of this U19 team, was like, KP, why do my players know who your dog is? And I was like, Gary's a big deal.
And this is Gary right here.
Yes. Oh my gosh. This is him. This is one of my favorite reels I've ever made in my life, when he's like chasing the bunnies. He's chasing the rabbits on our walk. Like there's no greater joy than him freaking trying to chase these rabbits. So yes, Gary is a big deal. And then like I went and I called the games for Mamba League, and the players, when I was coming, I was like, see you tomorrow. And they're like, are you bringing Gary? And I'm like, what? No, I cannot. What am I going to sit with him on NBA TV with him on my lap calling games?
That's what I'm going to build a table and then put a bed. I got to make it's a lot. I thought it'd be easy. It's actually not, but it's yeah, dude, dogs are amazing. Gary is do you worry he's going to catch one of these rabbits?
He's never going to. And even if he did, all I would have to say is leave it. And he would drop it. And oh, wait, scroll down. There he is in the gym. We're scouting, me and him.
Dude, that is awesome. What's his mix? Or what's his
He's a Cavapoo, so half Cavalier King Charles, half Poodle.
Oh,
so
bravo.
He's
That's your
sitting
baby.
at my feet right now. Yep.
That's your baby.
Gary's a big deal. He's about to get his own freaking like credential. I said the day I made it is the day I can like walk into the NBA draft with Gary.
That's awesome.
That's the day I make it in the world.
That's awesome. And people can follow you on all social media platforms at your name. It's super easy at Krysten Peek. You do tremendous work with Hoops HQ. You're doing work with the NBA. And again, if anyone has half a brain out there working for an NBA franchise, I don't know if you'd accept the offer, but I would throw an offer at her to be my GM. That's what I would do. And I guarantee that team would be amazing within a year or two. But that's just me. What do I know? Anything? Do we forget anything before we're done? Anything else you want to mention or promote?
No, I go on vacation next week, and then I hit the ground, and it's time to hit college practices and, get ready for the 26th.
Are your vacation plans something you keep on an esoteric level, meaning you don't publish like your travel plans, or can you share with the audience what you're going to do?
No, I'm going to Croatia. I'm going to go to Croatia for 10 days. I'm going to meet with a couple agents over there, and I'm going to see a couple players that I have heard. So kind of
mix a little business with
mix
pleasure.
it.
I like that.
I can't help myself. If I'm going all the way over there and I hear that there's a basketball, I'm gonna go see this player. Like, come on.
Well, the invite is always open for you to come on the show. Anytime you want, just hit me up and say, I have something going on. Can I come on your show? I will never say no. But at a bare minimum, if we continue this tradition of an annual appearance by Krysten Peek, that'll brighten my day, make me a happy person. Thank you. You do tremendous work. You're a phenomenally talented individual. I will praise you to the end because you deserve it. And enjoy your vacation. Say hi to Gary for me. I hope to meet him someday in person. Are we good? Are we done?
Yeah.
This
is great.
Thank you so much, Krysten. I always have fun with Krysten Peek. She's awesome. Plenty more shows to come. In terms of guests, Monday, Sophia Jones, V for Valkyries. I did tease that I was going to be doing post-game shows following Valkyries games, but that was before I lined up 6 insanely awesome guests for the program. So we'll see. Just follow us on social media and for all updates regarding the program. But thanks again to Krysten Peek. She's phenomenal. Thanks to you for joining us. And we'll be back at this soon. Bye-bye. Bye.